Hi, this is a tutorial for Top 24/7 and this is going to be using Lightroom and Photoshop, and what we're going to do is basically turn what quite often happens in the UK, and we get this horrible grey sort of cloud, and we're going to make it look like it was a blue sky, which is quite, say, it's a reasonably easy thing to do, especially with Lightroom and Photoshop. And what the picture I've got is quite hard because we've got these propellers, and trying to mask out these propellers to put in a new sky would be pretty tricky. So we've got some transparency going on where the motion blur on the propellers is, so that would be quite a tricky thing to do. So this is a way we're going to get around it. So I've got the picture here pretty much as shot, I think. And what I'm going to do, I think here on the history, I've just done a couple of spot removals because of dirty sensor, but what I'm going to do in Lightroom is I'm going to right click and create a virtual copy. So this will just basically just give me two versions of the same image. And with this virtual copy, I'm going to use the white balance to make the grey sky blue. So I'm going to do that by making the temperature colder, which gives it a blue tint, and I'm just going to basically adjust this to get roughly the kind of blue that I'm after, and then I might just give it a tint of magenta, which just to help it give it a bit more of a blue. So that's probably a fairly good blue sky, but obviously the issue is it's made everything blue, including the helicopter, so it doesn't look right. So I'm going to come back to the original. On this one, what I might do is actually just give it a touch of warmth, because if we're going to make it look like it was actually taken in sunshine, the temperature might actually be slightly warmer. You can see if I go too far, we're going to make it too orange, but just a very slight tint, just to give it a bit more warmth. Okay, so I've now got these two versions of the same shot. So if I select both of these and right click and choose editing, and then I've got open as layers in Photoshop, I should select that. After Photoshop's done its stuff, you will end up with both of those images in the same document as layers, as you can see here. So what I now need to do is to take the grey out of this picture, out of the top layer, so it reveals the blue sky from the image below, but leaving the helicopter in place. I'm going to do that using the blend if options. So I can do that by coming to the effects menu and choosing blending options. And now all I need to do is to use the blend if slider on this layer, and if I just drag this triangle to the left, you'll gradually see that it starts to reveal the image below, and if I keep going all the way, it will reveal all of the layer below. What I'm going to do is just get this to a rough setting so that the propellers are looking roughly right, and we're getting quite a harsh, if you look closely, getting quite a harsh transition here. So what we need to do is open up this triangle so we get more of a smooth transition, and we do that by holding the Alt or the Option key, and just by clicking on one side of this little triangle, we can open up this. And by doing that, we can get a much softer transition. And if I go to probably about there, you can see now the propellers are looking quite soft and smooth, even on top of the blue background. So here, I think that looks about right for propellers. So if I just zoom out again, and I can just click OK to this, I can now see that all we've done is masked out the sky, revealing the blue sky underneath. So we've now changed our grey sky to a blue sky. The other thing I can do is, because this cloud was actually a darker colour at the bottom, we've got a slight gradient on this sky, on the blue now. which is actually is complete reverse of how it would look in real life. It would actually be slightly darker at the top. So what I'm going to do is on my bottom layer with the blue sky, I'm going to throw in something like a levels, and on the levels I can just darken this down, bring by up in the blacks, just darken it down a bit, not too much, just a little bit. And now with a gradient tool, with black to white, if I just draw a gradient on the mask of this levels, so if I click probably about just below the helicopter, come up to about there, we've now just reversed it so that it's actually slightly darker at the top. If anything, I might actually make that even longer. So now we're getting the impression that it was actually shot on a blue sky. I could even go that further. I could do another levels and just push that even darker sky. And there we have a pretty good helicopter now on a blue sky. I can now flatten the image, file, flatten image, file, close. Do you want to save it? Save. And then back in Lightroom, we will now find that we have the 3 copies. We have the original, one where I've made the temperature colder, and then our final picture.